Okay, now the reason I'm starting here is because this is a cove off the main lake, and the main lake channel is just about 100 yards away, and it's about 7 feet deep, and then it turns and runs out down to the main part of the lake. And this cove here is off to the side, so it's a deeper cove. It's like 1 to 3 feet deep at the shore, and then it drops off to 5, 6, 7 feet deep just a few hundred yards out. It's got a lot of different types of thick grass that hold a lot of heat. It's got pads, it's got some wood cover, it's protected half the day by the high trees from with shade and things like that. So it's got a lot of factors here. Protected from the wind pretty much most days. So I'm going to start right here. Now I'm going to throw the Dirty Jig swim jig right here, the 3/8 ounce and a 1/2 ounce I've got on. With different trailers. I've got a net bait pocket crawl trailer on one on the Dirty Jig in the bluegill color. I've got on a black and blue Dirty Jig swim jig and a 1/2 ounce with a Grandy Bass trailer on the back. Grandy Bass has got some new baits coming out now. One that I like a lot to swim the swim jig with, and then there's a swimming Senko type bait, and the Flash, which I'm going to show you later today. A lot of really hot baits and a lot of really hot new colors, so I'm going to show you some of those too. We're basically going to throw swim jigs and different types of jigs the whole day with different trailers, different soft plastics, things like that. It's fall transition. It's down to 40 degrees last night. It's really, really cold, so let's see what happens. Ways to work them. A lot of people, I don't think they truly understand what I'm doing here. Now down on the Potomac, you want to reel this bait a lot of times on the high tide. It's grass that's 5, 6 feet down. You want to just reel it real slow with your rod down towards the water, just barely turning it like a slow rolling spinner bait type of thing. And when they hit, they just like a little thump and they run right at you real fast. Here, that's not the way you're working it. A lot of the Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, all over the country, any kind of shallow lakes and ponds and rivers, and you're going to work it into real shallow water, into cover, like pads and over top of shallow grass beds and in wood. Where are you going to throw a spinner bait and an RC 1.5 and all those types of baits like that? And what I do is I'll throw this right into the heaviest cover like this, pull it across at different rates of speed, just like you would a rage-tailed frog or anything like that. Try moving it slow through it, crawl it through it. When it gets to the edge, drop it, let it sink. They hit it like that. You just have to see the way the bass want it. They want something different every day. They don't always want the same thing. You've got to experiment. You don't always work the swim jig the same way in the same bodies of water. So work it fast, work it slow, kill it, swim it along, hold your rod tip up high. That'll wake it right on the top of the water. Reel it real fast. That's why I like a high-speed reel. You can move it at the speed you need. You can catch up with the fish. It just has a lot of advantages. It's got plenty of power. You don't ever have to worry about a high-speed reel not having power anymore. So use that high-speed reel. I like St. Croix Legend Tournament Series and Elite rods. I use their cranking rod also in an S-class for certain things. And for swim bait rods, I use an Akuma, and I even use that Rick Plunge, a real good rod. So most of the time, I'd say 98% of the time, I'm using a St. Croix rod of some type. I just found after 45 years that I've been using a lot of different rods and working for different people in the fishing industry, that they've just overall held up the best. So I really using St. Croix here all the time now at the Bass College. Oh, what was that? Dirty Jig swim jig, black and blue. They weren't hitting anything. Came back into this cove, threw in the Dirty Jigs 3/8 ounce black and blue swim jig, put on the net bait pocket crawl on the back of it. Picked up this one. He came right out of the edge of the shallow pads of the grass. I think it's starting to warm up, so I'm going to see if this is a pattern. I'm going to hit some other areas like this, see if we can get some more on this. Throwing this on the St. Croix Legend Elite today. 60-pound test Sunline FX2 braid on the Shimano Corrado with a 7.1. This is a 7'1" heavy action. I like to do a lot of the flipping and swim jigging with the St. Croix Legend Elite, the heavy action. I think the bass have actually been in all the areas that I've been so far in this shallow pads and the grass and the ledges. I think they've actually been there. It's just that the cold front turned them off. It got so cold so fast, and of course the shallows are the first to warm, but they're also the first to cool off at night. So very possible that they're still there, but just hunkered down or very close by on heavy cover and just buried down in it. Maybe as it starts to warm up, we'll get some different action now. A little later in the day, it's like 9:30 now, so see if that does it back in these shallows. We'll go try some of the other areas too that we hit this morning where when it was only 40 degrees and see if it's warmed up a little and if it's turned on. I'm going to show you a few of the new Grande bass baits that we're going to be using today and tomorrow and probably throughout the next week. This is the new Grande bass 6-inch indigo worm. Now they come in a lot of different colors. People have forgotten about straight tail worms, but I'll tell you, when the bite is tough, there's nothing better than this Grande bass indigo worm. See how this is flat on the bottom side? Most of the time when you see baits that have a flat bottom like that, a round top and a flat bottom, that means they're a floating worm. It's not always true, but 99% of the time when it has a flat bottom like that, it's a floating worm. This is a great color. This is the black and blue. They also have an indigo worm, which I like for when it's just stained or clear. This is a really nice looking worm. These straight tail worms, you can rig that a lot of different ways, just with a regular wide gap hook, a little tungsten weight. You can rig it up on a shaky head. Of course, we have the mega tail rattlesnake, which I use. That's one of my favorites. I think you all know that. I rigged that mega tail rattlesnake with a little tungsten weight. Pitch that into all the grass and docks and tools. This is a color that I particularly like when it's a little bit stained clear. It's pure motor oil, it's called. You can see that that's really got some contrasting colors in it, which is really important. Contrast is the most important thing. Anyway, they're really nice. Indigo worms, that's going to be a mainstay. Of course, the beaver, the new beaver claws, this has replaced all the Reaction Innovation sweet beavers that I used to use. The new beaver claws are just fantastic. And you just separate the claws like you do with most of the beavers like that, but the consistency of the plastic and the color combinations, the salt in them, the omega-3 injected, has the little ribs. It's important that when a bass picks up a bait, as soon as it feels it with its mouth, that it feels natural, that it's not something that tastes or feels out of the ordinary to it. The first thing they do is when they inhale it, they taste it in just a split second, spit it right back out if they don't like the way that that feels. So that's why consistency of the plastics and things like that, the little ribs, all those little features are really important. Here's a new color, the Bad Texas Crawl in the Mega Claws, which I really like. I'm going to match that up with a purple and black jig. Of course, you've got your beaver claws in like your Okeechobee Crawl, the same colors. This is the Bad Okeechobee Crawl, just like the Mega Claws that you see me using on the backs of the jigs. And of course, you have it in black and blue, a lot of different colors. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to throw a Grande bass flash. Now, if you guys haven't seen a flash, you're really going to get a surprise when you see what this does. We're going to start throwing that tomorrow and probably Sunday and Tuesday. We're going to get out here and throw that in all the shallow grass beds and the pads and all the edges of the dying grass and on flats. It's a fantastic bait. If you ever used any kind of a soft plastic jerk bait, once you put this flash on, you're not going to use anything again. When the shad starts schooling, like in Knoxontown or on the upper bay, the Potomac in the fall or spring, you throw that flash out, wait till you see what that does. We'll see you guys. Flipped him up on the dirty jig out of these laydowns right here. I'll show you the laydowns in a minute. Corrado and the St. Croix Legend Elite. Decent bass. Not 5, but really close. Big fat bass in the spring. That'll weigh 5.5 pounds. Got a lot of weight to it. Decent bass. All right, let's get this one back in. See if we can get some more. Wind's starting to come up now. Boy, it was freezing cold this morning. These dirty jigs, that's what does it though, man. Dirty jigs in the fall, in the spring, in the summer, it doesn't matter. Dirty jigs are going to catch you the bigger bass. Jig fish always do, but the dirty jigs, man, they're just so superior. The strands, the hook, you never lose a fish. The rattles don't break off, the heads don't chip. Nice jigs. These are the new Granny Bass Mega Claws that I got. They all have Mega 3 injected scent into them. Really super good quality plastic. It's just the right consistency on the Mega Claws. It's soft, but not too soft, doesn't rip right up, and man, they're just great. These Mega Claws come in like a ton of different colors. Here, black and blue, really works good. This is the black with the blue flake in it. Really decent looking trailer for the jigs. I'm going to go with the Granny Bass black with the blue flake in it now. I'm going to put it on the back of the dirty jig and go in and flip all the laydowns now. I've been working all the grass beds like I did the day before with the swim bait where I caught them, and I've caught them on the dirty jig there. I worked all those grass beds and just had a couple swipe at it. They came out of some pads and some grass. They swiped at it, but they didn't really take it. Then I came in here on this wind-blown shore and flipped it into the laydowns. And when I flipped this dirty jig into the laydowns, man, they just, wow, really hit it hard down deep inside. Was buried down in the laydowns right off the turn on the main lake. Buried down deep into them. About 3 or 4 feet down, but buried into the center of the laydowns. You had to get it right into the center. Putting a little bit of Mega Strike on there too, just to make sure. I'll see you guys. Tom Wolverton's in the Classic right now on the Potomac River, so wish him luck and stay tuned. See how they do. They're defending their championship down on the Potomac. Tom Wolverton and our other pro staff, Vinny Rossetti, in the ABA. So it's a 2-day tournament. Hopefully they'll do good in that. So we'll see how they do down there. And Mark Borger has a tournament this weekend. That's our other pro staff down there on the Potomac for the end of the year for the Classic for his club. So got a lot of stuff going on. And then we have the Fred Hutch Memorial Tournament on the Upper Bay on the Northeast and Sassafras, any of the Upper Bay rivers where you want to go. We're going to be probably launching, I think, out of Anchor Marine. So we've got that on the 23rd, so I've got to pre-fish and get ready for that. Hopefully our other member, John Natoli's going to be up there this weekend, and he'll be able to get out there and see what's happening on the river. So until next time, this is Steve Von Brandt. Don't forget, stop in the tackle store, stop in Tackle Warehouse. We give free baits with all your orders. Just check in the forums on how to get free baits and click on the rules there and give free baits with all your orders. So until next time, Steve Von Brandt down here in Lower Delaware. I'll see you guys out on the water.
Brother, it's a long road from Amistad to Toho. Doesn't matter which way.